We're adjusting both our Mexico as well as our U.S. plants to make sure nothing crosses the border. I think longer term is the bigger concern. These kind of tariffs, especially in these two countries, are very significant. And if they persist beyond months, we could see billions and billions of dollars of pressure on the industry, lost jobs, lots of impacts to communities and our ecosystem in the industry.
In a rare and dramatic confrontation between corporate America and the White House, Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley has issued a stark and urgent warning regarding former President Donald Trump's latest tariff proposals. Speaking candidly at the Wolf Research Conference in March 2025, Farley expressed grave concerns over the economic consequences of a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada, coupled with a 10% tariff on Chinese goods. Farley did not veil his apprehensions. According to him, such sweeping measures could inflict irreparable harm on the U.S. automotive industry, with Trump reviving his protectionist rhetoric, vowing once again to make American industry great.
Looking forward to working with them in a positive way so that we can get better outcomes to employ more people in the U.S.
Farley's outspoken stance marks a rare fracture between a Republican leader and one of the most iconic names in American manufacturing. This is not the voice of a politician or ideologue, but that of a pragmatic executive, entrusted with navigating a 121-year-old company through an age of aggressive global competition and rapid innovation. And in March 2025, that journey led Farley to Washington, D.C., where he met with lawmakers and administration officials to deliver a stark message. These tariffs endanger American jobs and threaten to destabilize the manufacturing backbone of the nation, a chain reaction through the heartland. Ford, like its Detroit counterparts General Motors and Stellantis, relies on an intricately woven North American supply chain. Mexico and Canada provide essential components, engines, transmissions, steel, and aluminum that keep American factories operating smoothly. Imposing a 25% tariff, Farley warned, would raise costs overnight. The fallout? Either Ford absorbs a financial blow, jeopardizing profitability and jobs, or passes it to the consumer, inflating vehicle prices that already average over $47,000. This is not just speculation, Farley insisted. It's a forecast grounded in hard data. Approximately 60% of the parts in a typical Ford vehicle built in the U.S. originate from Mexico or Canada. The Ford Bronco, proudly assembled in Michigan, depends on transmissions from Mexico. The best-selling F-150 truck relies heavily on Canadian metals. Analysts predict the proposed tariffs could increase vehicle prices by $2,000 to $5,000, enough to dissuade countless middle-class buyers, triggering a sharp decline in demand and subsequent job losses. Ford employs over 57,000 American workers. Across the broader industry, nearly 1 million jobs are at stake, many located in states such as Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. The stakes are even more critical in the electric vehicle EV sector, where Ford has poured billions into new battery plants in Ohio, Michigan, and beyond. These facilities, built during the Biden administration and supported by federal subsidies, now face uncertainty under Trump's economic agenda, a threat to the future of EVs. The electric future that Ford envisions is vulnerable. China produces over 60% of the world's EV batteries and remains a dominant force in green technology. A 10% tariff on Chinese imports could slow Ford's EV rollout, just as models like the F-150 Lightning begin to gain traction. Disruption at this stage, Farley argues, could allow rivals like BYD or Hyundai to surge ahead in the global EV race. Trump's approach is not new. During his first term, he imposed heavy tariffs on steel and aluminum, targeting Canada, Mexico, and China. The results? Mixed at best. Ford estimated a $1 billion increase in costs. GM voiced similar concerns. In 2019, Ford was forced to lay off 7,000 workers, many in the U.S., due to tightened margins. Small businesses, especially farmers, suffered as China retaliated with tariffs of its own. Even now, Trump remains defiant. When asked about Farley's warnings, he offered no rebuttal, only more bravado. Canada should be our 51st state, he proclaimed. Make it here and there's no tariff. His message to his base is clear and uncompromising. A party divided, an industry at risk. For decades, corporate America and the Republican Party have walked in step, united by tax cuts, deregulation, and pro-business policies. Yet Farley's public dissent represents a dramatic shift. Historically, the GOP has protected and revived the auto industry, from Reagan's voluntary export limits on Japanese cars to Bush's 2008 bailout of GM and Chrysler. But Trump's current plan, Farley argues, threatens to unravel what generations of bipartisan policy helped build. It doesn't simply adjust the rules. It upends the entire playing field. And while GM and Stellantis have remained publicly silent, insiders suggest they share Ford's concerns. Foreign car makers like Toyota, Hyundai, and BMW, unaffected by these tariffs, stand to gain competitive advantages, while American manufacturers are left scrambling. Farley's decision to speak out, bypassing backroom negotiations and lobbyists, underscores the urgency of the moment. For him, this is not a political calculation. It is a fight for survival. The human cost of a trade war. If these tariffs take effect, the first casualties won't be corporate profits, but ordinary Americans. Car prices will rise. Factory workers may lose their jobs. The economic shockwaves will ripple through swing states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, where manufacturing jobs are lifelines for communities. Small businesses, already weary from past trade wars, could face further instability. China's dominance in battery manufacturing continues to grow. Last year, BYD outsold Tesla in EVs globally. If U.S. automakers are hampered by new costs and lost subsidies, the U.S. may fall further behind in the global clean energy race. This isn't about protectionism, Farley concluded. It's about survival. Trump supporters may cheer his populist tone. But the irony is clear. The very industries he claims to defend, manufacturing, farming, retail, could be the ones most harmed. Critics argue that, like in his past business ventures, Trump's bold promises may once again end in costly miscalculations, a moment of reckoning. As markets wobble and Wall Street jitters grow, the question remains, will the administration heed the warnings from the industrial front lines? On March 31st, Trump doubled tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, sending shockwaves through the market. Though the Mexico and Canada tariffs have been temporarily delayed for 30 days, Farley sees it only as a narrow escape. Unless there is substantial policy reversal, the summer may bring surging car prices and a downturn in jobs. By year's end, the U.S. could find itself lagging further behind in the global race for electric leadership. So, is Jim Farley right to raise the alarm? Or is Trump's gamble a bold strategy to reignite American manufacturing? One thing is certain. This is no ordinary policy debate. It's a battle for the future of American industry. And Jim Farley, for one, is determined not to remain silent.